Alright, so I'm going to show how to replace the screen on this 13-inch MacBook Air model A1466 2017. Alright, so we're going to need a Pentalobe 1.2, which is also known as a P5 screwdriver. And then we're also going to need a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver and a T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver. Alright, so let's first remove all the screws from the bottom. These are Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screws. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that, I put the flat side down like that. In the pattern, I remove it, so I just remove the screws and put them in that rectangular shape on my desk. Alright, the two screws back here are longer than the rest, so we're going to make sure to keep them in order. Alright. Let's go ahead and continue doing these. Alright, if this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can learn how to fix these as well. Alright. Move the last four at the bottom here. Just like this. Alright, last one. Now that we got all the screws out, we're going to pull the cover off. So go from back here, get your fingers in there, and then pull this up. There is a clip, so there you go. Alright, it's pretty dusty here, so I'm going to have to clean this up, and then, yeah, I'll be back. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, I'm back. So we cleaned out the dust here. Alright, it's a lot cleaner. Okay, so I forgot to mention, because I just assume everyone knows, make sure that you shut down your computer. Alright, make sure it's not on. Alright, so anyways, now we're going to switch over to the T5 or Torx 5 bit. And then we're going to remove the screws for the battery. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so there's 5 screws holding the battery into place. So let's go ahead and remove these. One, again, keep all the screws in order. They are different size, shape, and lengths, and if you put the wrong ones in the wrong place, you can damage your computer. All right, let's go ahead and get that one. All right, now we're going to get the two down here. Okay, now that we got all 5 screws out, there's a little trick to removing the battery so that you don't damage anything. Alright, so what you're going to do, let me zoom out a little bit. You're going to lift the battery up from this side. You can use this part to kind of lift it, but however you can get underneath is fine. Alright, so now I'm going to get my fingers under there, and I'm going to rotate the battery slightly up this way. Okay, so I'm holding the battery up like that. Now we're going to get this plastic tab here. Okay, and then to remove the battery, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this and we're going to kind of just wiggle as we pull, just like that. And there we go. Came out really easily. So the reason why we have to kind of rotate the battery up slightly like that is because this cable here, sometimes the lip of this battery will get caught on there. And if you just yank it back, you can actually rip this cable. All right, so I'm going to clean this a little bit and then we'll continue with the repair. All right, I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so I'm back, just cleaned off the battery a little bit. We're going to set that aside. Alright, so now what we're going to do after disconnecting the battery, open up the screen and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. This will drain the power from the motherboard so that it's a lot less risky to work on. There won't be any power flowing through the capacitors, or if there is, there'll be a lot less so that it won't be so dangerous to work on. Alright, if you don't do that, there's risk you can fry some components and then you're going to end up needing more repairs. Alright, so anyways, let's go ahead and zoom in here. Next thing we're going to do is disconnect the LCD or LVDS connector here. So the way I do that, I use my fingernail to get underneath the corner of that little clip there and then just flip that up just like that. Then we grab this and go ahead and pull this back just like that. All right, so I use the bottom area of this little latch to pull that back just like that. All right, next thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and disconnect the wireless antenna cable. So just get underneath. I use my fingernails there. Okay, and then we're just going to pull this up just like that at the tails. All right, you want to make sure you're pulling at the tail. If you try and pull from the front, you can damage the connector. All right, same thing for this one, just pull it up. Then we're gonna unroute this wire here. So we're gonna pull this back here, and then we're just gonna get these wires out. All right, so just like this, just go ahead and pull them up. Might have to kind of wiggle it a little bit to get them out. And then here, this rubber piece sometimes gets caught on it, so make sure to kind of hold that. All right, and there we go. Now we got the wireless antennas out. All right, so this model, the eyesight or webcam cable is underneath here, so we're gonna have to disconnect this cable here. All right, I just used my fingernails here on the opposite corners, and then we just kind of wiggle this as we kind of pull it. There we go. Same thing with the other side here, just get under the corners, and there we go. All right, so for some reason they didn't undo this adhesive thing here. So normally they would peel this off, or maybe somebody changed this cable before and then they would stick the foam down there. But I'm just gonna leave it like that because that's how it was. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, we need to get this cable, which is the eyesight or webcam cable, out. This cable is somewhat in the way, so we're gonna have to remove that as well. All right, and the easiest way to do this, well, because I have fingernails, is you kind of just wiggle this connector up here. All right, and as you can see, the connector comes out. If you can't do that, you can kind of like try and just grab the cable, and then you can kind of wiggle the cable a bit, but it's a little bit more risky because you can break these wires here. All right, so there we go. Let's see, now we're going to have to remove the fan on this model. All right, so to remove the fan, we're gonna peel up this a little bit. All right, this rubber piece. Okay, and then we're gonna use the T5 screwdriver to remove the 3 screws holding the fan down. All right, again, keep all the screws in order. One there, one here, and one down here. All right, now that we got those 3 screws out, we're gonna go ahead and lift the fan slightly. You wanna be careful because it's connected right here, but we're just gonna lift it so it's no longer being held down with that rubber. All right, then we're gonna get under here and flip this latch up. Okay, so that way this cable will be released. I'm gonna grab underneath. All right, so pinch the cable from under the fan with your finger, and then you can wiggle and pull this out. So just like that, I'm holding the cable. All right, we'll set the fan aside. So we're getting there. We also need to remove this one screw here as well. Okay, take that screw out. All right, and then now, as you can see, we can kind of lift this slightly. So we're gonna have to get this cable, which is the eyesight or webcam cable, out. You can use a plastic tool for this, or you can, if you're careful, you can use your screwdriver. You can also kind of just grab this cable and kind of wiggle it. But the safest way, let me zoom in and show. All right, so you see this connector here. Oops. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push like this one and then push this one and just keep going back and forth. All right, so just like this, push that, back over here, push that, back over here, push that. Okay, and we just keep switching, and you'll see the cable is slowly coming out. Okay, just like that, and there we go. All right, now we can go ahead and grab this cable. Let me zoom out. And we have to get it out from under here, so we're gonna lift this up slightly, and then we're gonna pull this cable out, and then thread it out of this. Okay, and there we go. Now we're just gonna remove all the hinge screws with the T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver. So there's a slight trick to this to make it easier. So what you do, let's zoom out, okay. All right. Oops, let's move that out of the way. Okay, so what you do is you open the screen all the way, all right, just like this. Then you flip this over and you lay the keyboard on your desk, all right? So now that you have the keyboard on your desk, what we're gonna do is undo these 6 screws, just like this. Okay. 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. If you'll notice also, this metal bracket with the antennas go underneath this board here, so make sure when you put it back, we're gonna have to make sure it goes back underneath. All right, remove the 3 on this side. Oops, okay. And last one. All right, now that we got all 6 screws out, we're gonna move aside and let the screen drop to 90 degrees. Once it's 90 degrees, you can go ahead and lift the screen up and out just like that. So here's the old screen. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and get the replacement screen. All right. Let me go get that and I'll be back. Oh, actually, it's right here. Okay. So we got this. The screen has all this stuff wrapped on it. So we're going to have to peel all these things out. Okay. So let's go ahead and peel this tape off of here. Let me actually move this out of the way so I can zoom in and show this. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and peel this stuff up. You want to be careful. They put this tape. It's a little bit risky. I don't know why they don't put like fold over a tiny portion of this to make it easier to peel up. Like if they folded this like that, then when you stick that down, you have a little pull tab, see? And then it'd be so much easier. All right, you're gonna have to be careful. Make sure to hold the cable down so you don't accidentally like rip it out or anything. Okay, just like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and peel this piece out as well. Actually, I'll just leave the tape there. Okay, let's go ahead and peel this side off as well. Just get underneath and peel that up. All right, we're gonna get all these cables out here. Just like that. All right. Now what we're gonna do, well, I guess let's peel this off because then I can leave the back cover on until I'm done. Okay. Peel this off. All right, so there we go. All right, so now we got the screen ready. The other thing you need to do is these hinges need to be opened all the way. So take the T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver, just get it slightly in there, and then we're gonna use that to rotate that. Once you get it far enough, you can go ahead and rotate it by hand, all right? Just like that. This hinge is really easy to turn. Hopefully the screen's not just gonna flop over because that's weird. This one is much harder to turn, all right? So anyways, now we're going to get the MacBook back. Okay, let's zoom back out a tiny bit. Oops, way too much. Go. All right, so have this hanging over the edge of the desk, and then we're gonna put it back the same way we took out the other one. So make sure to hold these cables up and out of the way, all right, on both sides. All right, now that we got the cables out of the way, we're gonna slowly drop this into place. Just like that, and then you wanna hold this up, all right? So while you're holding this up with your legs, then what we're gonna do, we're gonna put one screw on each side here. So we'll put this screw first. Okay. And then we'll get this screw in here. Oh, did I over tighten this one already? Let me loosen that a little bit. All right. Now we can align this and get this screw in. There we go. All right, you don't want to tighten these all the way because now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly close the screen. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to want to make sure everything is lined up. So let's zoom in again. Okay, so to make sure everything is lined up, you just want to pinch the sides. Make sure that everything is aligned properly. If it's not, try and move it back into place. Okay. Then once you got everything lined up, you can go ahead and tighten these two screws. Make sure that everything stays aligned. Okay. There we go. Now we can go ahead and work on the rest. So let's see here. So like before, we had this one going underneath here. So you want that going underneath again. Let's go ahead and put this one screw first over here. We're going to use some thread locker so that way the screws don't come loose. All right, let me actually zoom in here. Okay, so we're gonna move this over. All right, let's get the thread locker in here. Get a little bit. Okay, it doesn't take much, just a little, and then we'll get this screw in. All right, now that we got that screw in, we can go ahead and take this one back out. Okay, so this one you're going to want to get lined up again, and you're going to want to make sure to get it around this rubber piece here. Okay, just like that. We're going to loosely fit this screw first just to get it lined up. Then we're going to get the second screw, get the thread locker on it. Okay, and then we'll put that screw in. There we go. And then we'll get the second screw back out. And we'll add the thread locker to that as well. Alright, now that we've got the thread locker on there as well, let's go ahead and get this screw in. Okay, tighten that all the way down. Go. Let's go ahead and go to the other side. Same thing. Get the screw. Add the thread locker. Okay, put that screw in. Alright, we can take this other screw back out. Get the thread locker on there. Okay, and we'll tighten that down. Last screw. Thread locker on there. Okay, tighten that screw in. Alright, there we go. Now we got all those hinge screws back in. Let's put this away. Alright, we're going to flip this over. And then we're going to go ahead and reconnect the LCD LVDS connector here. You want to make sure you put this the right way, so make sure when you go ahead and put this in that the pins are facing up. Alright, so let's see, so if we put it this way, then when it opens it will go the opposite. Okay, that's good. So let's get this cable in, line up the edges here. Okay, let me see if I can show it better close up. Again, you want the gold pins facing up here. Okay, sorry, it's all shaking. There we go. Get that lined up and then pull that connector in, flip this latch down and make sure it clicks into place. There we go. Make sure when you put this cable down here that it's not going into the screw hole there. Right, so make sure to get that wrapped around there just like this. Okay, so there we go. Let's go over to the other side here. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky to do. Let's go ahead and do the camera cable real quick. All right, so get this into that little notch there, just like that. And then what you're gonna wanna do is we're gonna plug this cable in here. Okay, so get that cable in. And then same thing as before, we're gonna use the tool to walk this connector into place. All right, so we're gonna go left side, right side, left side, right side, just like this. All right, and there we go. Now it's completely into place. Now what you want to do is push this into this little groove here. Oops, this thing popped back out. Right, so push that in and then make sure to push all the extra slack underneath this board. Okay, just like that. Get the slack under there, and there we go. All right, so next thing you're going to want to do, if you have your charger, it will help to do this. You can stick your charger, make sure your charger is unplugged, but stick that there. I have this adapter, so this is what I use to do it. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and get the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver back. Okay, and while we're holding this board down and in place, you want to kind of like pull it out a little bit so that it's as tight to this side as possible. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put this screw in. There we go. We can take the adapter out. Now it's holding itself in place. All right, let's go ahead and get the fan and put this back in. So make sure that the latch there is up. All right, let me zoom in to make this a little bit easier to see. Okay, then we're going to get this fan. Get that in. All right. That all lined up. Make sure this connector goes in. Might be a little tricky. Come on. There we go. Once you get that in, get that out of the way. All right, so you can kind of push this so it bows up, and then you can go ahead and push that to make the cable go in all the way. All right, just like that. And then slide your finger over that latch to flip it back down. There we go. Let's go ahead and get the fan screws back in. We're going to loosely fit the screws first. Okay. Don't want to tighten it all the way yet. All right, because you can see it moves around. All right. Let's go ahead and get the next screw here. Okay, and the last screw. And then what you want to do is you want to pull the fan up tight against the heat sink back here. All right. And then now you can go ahead and tighten the screws in. There we go. And last one. Make sure we're not damaging the camera cable. Okay, good. There we go. Now those screws are all tight. Let's go ahead and plug back in this board for the charge port and the USB port. All right, get that lined up. And then we're going to pinch the two plastic parts together just like that to make sure that it's plugged in. All right, now let's go ahead and put this rubber piece here and stick that back down. I'm going to flip this thing over so that I can thread the wireless antennas back into place. All right, so we got the wireless antennas here. We're going to use the, well, I guess we can use the T8 screwdriver for this. So we're going to use the T8 screwdriver bit as well as the T5. All right, so I'm going to put the T8 one in here. What we're going to do is we're going to push the cable here underneath. Okay, make sure it goes underneath that rubber piece. And then we're going to try and get this cable to go back in. So this, you want the cables to be stacked together like this, so when you push it, it goes into the slot. If they're this way, it's not going to fit. So you want to make sure that when you get these cables that you twist it in to make it go stacked vertically. All right, and then you can go ahead and push these wires into the little grooves down there. All right, just like this. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. All right, we're gonna run these wires over this way. And same thing. I'm using the bigger T8 one because the smaller screwdriver can actually dent the wires and damage them. So now we're gonna pull this rubber piece up while we push the antenna cable underneath. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and push that into the slot. Continue going over. This one you kind of have to make sure to thread underneath the screw mount, just like that. All right, and then you can do this one. Come on, why is it not going in right? There we go. All right, keep going down the line. Oops, sorry. Let's go move it this way. Just like that. Have it go around the screw mount again. Okay, just like that. All right, and then we'll get this. Oh, how'd the antenna end up under there? Oh my God. Okay, I need to pull this back out. Get back out of there. What are you doing in there? Okay. All right, get that back around the screw mount. Okay, and then we're gonna get the antenna into these grooves again. Okay. Just like this. There we go. Second one, same thing. There we go. All right, into those grooves. I'm gonna flip this over to make this a little bit easier for me to work on. All right, so we got these antenna wires now. Oh no, I think it's not gonna reach. Okay, I'm gonna flip the wires around because the longer one is gonna need this closer mount, otherwise it's not long enough. All right, so we're gonna put the shorter wire to the further one, either that or maybe I have more slack if I can pull it a little bit more. Not really. Okay, let's get that in. All right, so we'll make the longer cable go to the first notch, right, and the shorter cable go to the second notch. And hopefully that's enough slack to reach both. Okay, there we go. Let's flip this back over again. let's see here. So will the longer cable reach now? Okay, it looks like it will. Okay, get this lined up. I know it's hard to see this. Let me zoom in a bit more. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, get that lined up. Might help to use some tweezers, but all right. Okay, it's not lined up right. You'll know it's lined up right because if you hold it in place, as you can see now, I can't pull on it, then you know you can click it down. All right, there we go. Now the short cable, same thing. It's kind of twisted around, so it's going to make it a little bit tough. Let's see if I can twist it over and make it stay that way. Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead and push this cable. Come on. Twist it some more. All right, let me use the tweezers. It might help. Get the tweezer in there. Hold that over. Okay, it's not moving. There we go. And let's click that down. Okay, clicked into place. Perfect. All right, that antenna wire is a little bit sticking out, so let's see if I can get that in right way here. All right, push that under. There we go. Okay, antennas are in. Let's zoom out. All right, now all that's left is put back that one push cable and the battery, and we're good to go. So let's get this cable back over here. All right, line this up. Click it down, line that up. You might have to look from the side to get a better view to make sure it lines up properly. Okay, this one's kind of being a pain. Here you can see, if you look from the side, you can see where it lines up, and then you can get that in and push it down. There we go. All right, battery time. Let's zoom out. Grab the battery. We're gonna put it at an angle. All right, so we're gonna plug this in first. Get this lined up. Okay, just like this. There we go. And then pinch the two pieces together. Then we're gonna grab the battery, push it into place, and drop it down. Make sure it's connected right. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put back the T5 or Torx 5 screws. All right. Grab that. Put that screw in. All right. Second screw in. All right. Middle screw. All right. Now the two corner screws here. Like that, and the last corner screw here. All right, we should be good to go. Let's put the bottom cover back on. Before we start up, or before we put back the bottom screws, we're going to do a Pram and Smc reset just to test it and make sure everything's working. All right, let's zoom out here. There we go. Oops, too much. All right, so we got this opened. We're gonna get the adapter. Okay, let's plug this in. All right, so SMC reset. If your battery is less than 100%, this should go to orange. There we go. What we're going to do is Control Option Shift on the left side, and then the power button should go to green and back to orange. That's how you know you did a SMC reset properly. Now we're going to do the PRAM reset. So power it up, and then hold Command Option P and R. You'll hear the chime. You'll see the screen shut off, and then when you hear the second chime, you can let go. Okay. Actually, after you see the screen shut off, you can let go, but I hold it just to be sure. There we go. Second chime. Let's see, is it starting up? This thing's scaring me. I don't see anything on the screen. There we go. We got the Apple logo. Okay, and we got some picture here, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna go to guest mode just to make sure. Oh, his trackpad might also need fixing. It's not very clicky. It might be, oh. Okay, it's getting better. I don't know. Okay, maybe he just hasn't clicked it too much in a long time. There we go. All right, so it's starting up into guest mode, so now we can see it's okay. All right, so now that we know everything's okay, we're gonna go ahead and peel off all this stuff. So we're gonna peel this little label off. Oh man, don't tell me they used a dumb label that leaves residue on it. Okay. Man, it left some gross stuff there. I'm gonna have to clean that off. Okay, to clean that off, I'm just gonna get a piece of paper towel and some rubbing alcohol. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and try and rub that. Yep, it's coming out. There we go. All right, so we got that off. Here you can see everything's working, looks good. Let's go ahead and peel off this screen protector thing. All right, screen looks good. Again, the hinge is a little bit loose, so if I leave it like this far, okay, the screen kind of like closes itself. But other than that, everything looks okay. All right, so we should be good to go. Let's check actually the wireless. Okay, the other thing you want to check is the camera, but I'm sure it should be okay. I'll let them test it. All right, we'll shut this down. All right, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and put back the screws on the bottom. For now, I'm gonna transfer over this stuff. So let's go ahead and put this here. So his old screen still kind of works, so he's gonna save it. All right. Yeah, come on, it's not going on right. Stop going for good. There we go. Good enough. Okay, now let's go ahead and peel this off. All right, so we're gonna peel this off. Oh, this is like a different back cover. The silver's a little different. It's more grainy. But anyways, let's peel that off. So it looks like they fabricated their own screen thing. All right, let's go ahead and put this here. All right, and we're just gonna stick this one on there. Go. Let's go ahead and put this little pouch of stuff back together as well. Okay, wrap this up. All right. We get these cables all back in here. Go. Okay, cables in. Go ahead and stick that on there. Good. Let's tape this thing down as well. There we go. Oops. This thing's not lined up right. Well, we'll stick that on. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and put the bottom screws, and after that, we're pretty much done. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys. Oh, I need to clean this. It has some sticky residue. All right. All right, let's flip this over and get those screws in. Make sure to switch back over to the T5 or P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screwdriver. All right, get those screws back in. All right, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Again, if this video helped you guys, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others. All right, you're welcome to stay while I put back the rest of the screws, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Okay. Screw in. Alright, that's it. See you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.